I am the pastor of the University Presbyterian Church in Sacramento. What you're going to see above you is our pictures of our church. Our church doesn't have a building of our own, but we do have some wonderful people. And so I've just put on the slide up here. Actually, Scott is a part of our church who is a great photographer, and he makes us look a lot better than we do in person. And he also put in a lot of duplicates so that we seem also larger than we actually are. In the future, if we ever do get a building, I hope that we'll always believe, as I know you do as well, that our greatest assets are our people. Many of our people have been Presbyterians for a long time. One member has been a Presbyterian for 70 years. Others over 30, 40, and 50 years. A majority are elders and deacons. Many serve and have served in Presbytery and on Presbyterian committees over the years. Through these last 7 months that I've been with them, I have wanted to sort of figure out what has motivated this brave decision of theirs to go against the tide and start this new church. As you know, we meet on the property of the Fremont Evangelical Presbyterian Church, and we have a period of time, a lease, that we're allowed to meet there. When I first met them, I was curious. I met with Joe first, Joe Cavness, and I was wondering why would a group of mostly retired folks, not all, but mostly retired, who were in a time of life when they should be playing more golf and relaxing and taking lots of trips. Why would they take on this project, this huge endeavor? Well, they still travel a lot, I should say, but then it finally occurred to me, and this really impressed me, because as I've talked to our congregation, I realized that over the years, they haven't viewed themselves simply as members of their local church. It's interesting. They didn't view themselves simply as Fremonters. They also viewed themselves as Presbyterians. And so the latter identity was as important as the former. And so it put them in sort of a quandary when this happened at their church. And it's still true for them today. They are part of University Presbyterian Church, but they also feel connected to the larger presbytery. They lost their building and their name, but they didn't lose their resolve or their spirit or their connection. They think of themselves not so much as a new church, but as continuing a PCUSA legacy at that location. We have a very sophisticated membership procedure that I want to tell you about. You come for a few weeks, and then you're offered a name tag. If you accept that name tag, you're in. And then you're handed a pledge card. No, not really. We are in the process of dreaming and planning and organizing for the future. Ultimately, our goal is to become a new chartered PCUSA church, which will happen. Recently, we have formed a task force, a vision task force, to begin immediately talking about mission. These folks are very mission-minded and interested in reaching out to their community. I have asked Donna to come, who is a professional member of task forces all over the place. She's already been up here as member of one task force to tell you a little bit. She's on our task force, and she's going to tell you just a little bit about what we've been discussing.
Bob has been leading our congregation through a process where we are trying to identify exactly who we are and discern where God is calling us to serve in the community. So we have been looking at what does it mean to be a member of a PCUSA church? What does that mean in terms of our responsibilities to each other, our role in the community. So we have had that kind of underpinning. So now we have a task force. This task force has stringent rules, much like our membership rules. We tell you when the meeting is. If you want to come, you're on it. And we've had 3 meetings, and we have generally between 8 and 12 people attend at each meeting. We wanted to make sure that this whole process was open to our entire congregation. And having a small congregation, that's relatively easy to do. So it is announced, anyone in the congregation can come to these meetings, and for those folks who either can't make it to a meeting or don't like to go to meetings, we've sent out a survey to every member or every person who attends our church. Basically, where do you see what are your concerns for the community? What are your concerns for the world? Where do you see our church playing a role, and how do you see that playing out? So we've gotten a pretty good response from a wide variety of people, and even at this early stage, we see several common threads that I think will shape the ministry that University Presbyterian Church moves into. One of the primary concerns we have is for social justice issues. A second one is to reach outside our walls into the community and into the world to share the love of Jesus Christ. We have a strong commitment to grow in our faith through education, prayer, and worship. And we have a strong desire also to partner with other churches and other denominations to realize our vision and to move forward. You know, over the last couple of years, we've learned what it meant to be a church. I've been in the Presbyterian Church for over 30 years, and I loved going to my church. But what I've learned was a church is not a building, and a church is not a particular style of worship. A church is people. People who care about each other, people who have a shared vision, and who wish to live out the love of Jesus in the world today. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. We've been through hard times, we've been through fun times together. And what we've discovered is that we are a church, and we trust that Jesus will lead us where we need to go, and the Holy Spirit will guide us. And I think we're making a pretty good start. So thanks, Bob.
I forgot to mention that Nancy Millen is heading up this sophisticated membership program that I was mentioning. And we had a little celebration when she made her 100th name tag. So it was a very exciting time for us. As Donna said, we are making plans for the future. One last item that we're making plans for. Our new worshiping community, or new church development, is making plans to begin a new worshiping community. And the new worshiping community that we are hoping to sponsor and begin is a campus ministry on the campus of Sacramento State. And it's a very exciting time. It's part of the original design and desire for this church at the very beginning. And this particular campus ministry will be separate from the UPC in the sense that it'll have its own separate identity. And we've been talking to many in Presbytery to make it something that is a connectional outreach to the campus at Sac State. So hopefully we'll involve several churches and potentially several denominations in an outreach to Sac State. So if you know of any college students or have any at your church that might be interested in leading or helping lead or helping get started a ministry like this, please have them get in touch with us as we sort of get moving forward on this new worshiping community from our church. We do have a website, www.universitypress.com, and that's one S at the end if you'd like to go to it. But we're very excited about what's happening with University Presbyterian. Thank you so much.